I kept looking until the thrones were set up, and the Ancient of Days was seated. His clothing was like white snow, and the hair of his head like pure wool. Remember this description. Here, one like the Son of Man is not the Ancient of Days. The one like the Son of Man comes to the Ancient of Days, right? Okay. When John sees Jesus, watch here. Then I turned to see the voice that was speaking with me. And having turned, I saw 7 golden lampstands. In the middle of the lampstands, I saw one like a Son of Man, clothed in a robe, reaching to the feet, girded across his chest with a golden sash. And his head and his hair were white like wool, like snow. Now here, Christ is that one like a Son of Man. And he does look like the Ancient of Days. Now he's both of them. See the description? But now let's go here. Here, the Son of Man is not the Ancient of Days. There are two, and he comes to the Ancient of Days. But here, it's the Ancient of Days, whose clothing is white like snow, who has a head of hair like pure wool. But over here, Jesus is both. And remember, Daniel 7 talks about the horn, and then the 10 horns or 10 kings. Well, according to Revelation, who destroys the 10 kings? Revelation 17, 1-17, right? Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots. Literally, let's go here. Revelation 17, 12-17. And the 10 horns which you saw are 10 kings who have not yet received the kingdom, but they receive authority as kings with the beast for an hour. There's Daniel 7. There are the 10 kings, but who destroys them? These have one purpose. They give their power and authority to the beast. These will wage war against the Lamb. The Lamb will overcome them. He destroys the 10 horns, the 10 kings, because he is Lord of lords and King of kings. And those who are with him are the called and elect and faithful. And remember in Daniel 7, the 4 beasts arose from the sea, which is the earth. And he said to me, the waters which you saw where the harlot sits are peoples and crowds and nations and tongues. Do you see the miraculous consistency and how John is inspired by his Spirit to give you a more fuller, greater explanation of Daniel? So Daniel's prophecies were fulfilled partially with the coming of Antiochus, but awaited a greater fulfillment because Antiochus was a picture of another horn worse than him. See how deep the Bible is? And the 10 horns which you saw and the beast, these will hate the harlot and will lay waste to her and make her naked. They're going to destroy the city and will eat her flesh and will burn her up with fire. For God gave it in their hearts to do his purpose, both by doing their own common purpose, by giving their kingdom to the beast, until the words of God will be finished. Who overcomes the 10 horns, which are the 10 kings? The Lamb. But in Daniel 7, who arises, comes to bring judgment, to save the people of the saints of Most High? The Ancient of Days. And does Revelation identify Jesus as the Ancient of Days and Son of Man? Yeah. And the meaning of the 10 horns were on its head. And the other one which came up before, right? 10 horns, right, came. 3 of them fell, namely the horn which had eyes and a mouth speaking, boasting, right? And who arose until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given in favor of the saints of the highest one. So who arises to save the people of the saints of the Most High and give them the kingdom? The Ancient of Days. But Revelation says it's the Lamb that does it. And here you go. The 10 horns are the 10 kings. And Revelation 17 says the Lamb destroys them. That means you have 2 Ancient of Days and 2 highest ones. The Ancient of Days and the Son of Man. They're both the Ancient of Days and they're highest ones. Why? Because the Son is as old as the Father. Ancient of Days describes God's nature as being old, eternal, no beginning, no end. So not only is the Father the Ancient of Days, so is the Son and the Spirit, because all of them are God, and all of them are just as old as the other. So in one place, the Father can be called Ancient of Days. Another place, Jesus. Another place, the Spirit. That's why we're Trinitarians. But in case you missed it, the Ancient of Days, his clothing was like white snow, and the hair of his head like pure wool. All right, that's Ancient of Days. But the Son of Man here comes to him. They're distinct. But over here, John sees Jesus, one like a Son of Man. That's the same language of Daniel 7. One like a Son of Man. Okay. But how does he look? He looks like the Ancient of Days. And his head and his hair were white like white wool, like snow. That's the Ancient of Days. Christ is ancient, just as ancient as Father, and he's the one like the Son of Man. And how do I know this is Jesus? When I saw him, I fell at his feet like a dead man, and he placed his right hand on me, saying, "Do not fear. I am the first and the last, the living one, and I was dead." So Jesus, the Son of Man, the Ancient of Days, the Most High, distinct from the Father, who's also the Ancient of Days and the Most High, together they're the highest ones. They rule together and receive the same worship. Now, do the Jews, both ancient and modern, understand the Son of Man, Daniel, to be Messiah? Yeah, I showed this. It says here, Babylonian Talmud said here in 98a, that Daniel 7:13 and Zechariah 9:9 written about the Messiah. He is the one like a Son of Man. If we're worthy, he'll come on the clouds. If we're not worthy, he'll come on a donkey. Isn't it ironic? Because the Jews were in rebellion, unworthy. Christ came on a donkey, but in the second coming, he'll come on the clouds. And here, Rashi, who paid these Jews to agree with us that the Son of Man is King Messiah? What about Enoch? You remember that? Enoch. Here you go. John J. Collins, who is a liberal, who doesn't believe the Bible's inspired. What does he say? And I quote Enoch in 4 Ezra. And we're going to go find it. The interpretation. For much of Jewish and Christian history, this figure was interpreted as the Messiah. The earliest adaptations of this vision and the similitudes of Enoch in 4 Ezra 13 use messianic language with reference to the Son of Man figure. The oldest Jewish sources say Son of Man is Messiah. Later Jewish sources say Son of Man is Messiah. New Testament says Son of Man is Messiah. You want us to go with your interpretation, and yet you cannot find, even in your Quran, where Muhammad is said to be the Son of Man, and even Bart Ehrman does not say the Son of Man is an Arab prophet named Muhammad. He will tell you the Son of Man is a figure that comes from heaven to save the Jews. Who agrees with you pagans that the Son of Man is an Arab named Muhammad? And remember Bart Ehrman? According to Ehrman, he takes Son of Man as a collective symbol for Israel. He goes, Daniel 7, Son of Man is Israel. All right. But even he admits that Enoch identifies the Son of Man as Messiah, as having existed before creation, who will come and sit on the throne to judge the world and will be worshipped. Even Bart Ehrman, right here, I read it yesterday, so I'm not going to keep repeating this. He even admits it. I'm not going to read Enoch. You can read it on your own. He admits it right here. Here it is, Bart Ehrman. What? In the book I just showed you. Pages 66, 67. What does he say? He says what here? I'm going to read it right here, Bart Ehrman. First, Enoch identifies the Son of Man as a divine being. And that's who the apocalyptic Son of Man is, according to Jesus, that you say is someone else. We are told all the earth will fall down and worship before him. Before creation, he was concealed in the presence of God himself. They even believe, because he's depicted as divine, he must have been there before creation. Sounds like what the New Testament says about Jesus. And who is he? The Messiah. He's even called Messiah. And he's eternal. He was there before creation, will live forever. So this ruler is not earthly, he's heavenly. He's not a mere mortal, he's a divine being who's always existed. He sits beside God on his throne. They want us to believe this is Muhammad. You understand the point? The earliest non-Christian Jewish sources, later non-Christian Jewish sources, see Son of Man as a divine being appearing as human, who's been there, will appear again. None of them take it as a mere mortal. New, right here, Judaism view on the Messiah's preeminent existence. So what do I quote? Enoch. There it is right there. Enoch. I don't want to read Enoch because you can read it right there. He was there before creation of the world. And they will all worship him. Enoch. All right. And he's called Messiah. That's in these articles. Download them, save them before they're gone. For from the beginning, the Son of Man was hidden, called the Son of Man. That's Enoch. Any other sources? Let's see. Here I quote who? Robert Gerald Hamilton Kelly. What does Enoch, Son of Man, tell us about the Jewish views of Daniel, Son of Man? Here it is. Hidden with God before creation. Hidden before creation. So he's uncreated, according to Enoch. Right? He existed before creation. Robert Gerald Hamilton Kelly. The idea pre-exists in early Judaism. Right? And who do I quote here? Let's see. Oh, Bart Ehrman. But I forgot to put Bart Ehrman's name because I'm stupid. Damn. Nonetheless, I'll find it and I'll put Bart Ehrman. That's Bart Ehrman. Okay. For Ezra, who is the Son of Man? Guys, Jewish source. The Son of Man that comes on the clouds. Guess who he is? The Son of God. For my son, the Messiah. Another Jewish source says the Son of Man is the Messiah and he's the Son of God. And guess what? He dies and will be raised to life. For Ezra, a non-Christian source. This is who? Ezra tells you who he's seeing. The visions of Daniel. And in that vision, that Son of Man you see, that's my son, the Son of God, who will die and be raised. This is the Messiah whom the Most High has kept until the end of days, who will rise from the posterity of David. Then my son will be revealed, and he, my son, will reprove the assembled nations for their ungodliness. So no one on earth can see my son or those who are with him except in the time of his day when he appears. And henceforth you shall live with my son and with those who are like you. And again, John J. Collins, I quote him, see, he says, the oldest interpretation from non-Christian Jews show you that they believe it's Messiah, but Messiah is a divine pre-existent being, a pre-existent heavenly divine being who becomes the son of David. See that? So what does he say, Collins? According to For Ezra and Enoch, the Messiah is a pre-existent, transcendent figure whom the Most High has been keeping for many ages. Even the late Jewish scholar Jacob Neusner admitted in his book Judaisms and Their Messiahs at the turn of the Christian era, page 275, there are teachings, strands in Jewish sources that depict the Messiah. These earlier systems resorted to the myth of the Messiah as Savior of Israel, a supernatural figure engaged in political, historical tasks as king of the Jews, even a God-man. Even a God-man? Jacob Neusner is admitting there are Jewish sources that depict the Messiah as a God-man. Where do you think they got that from?